Well, after losing a heartbreaker on Tuesday, the Liberty University baseball team was back at it on Wednesday in desperate need of a win. On the mound, they would turn to Matt Pennington to start the ball game, a senior lefty that hadn't pitched in a game in over a month. The Flames hosting East Carolina, starting Pennington a bit of a gamble from head coach Jim Toman, but it was a gamble that paid off big time. The southpaw was dealing, throwing a career-best 7 shutout innings, striking out 5. The team has had so much trouble in midweek games, and Pennington put them on his shoulders and delivered a clutch performance. Meanwhile, while he was cruising, the East Carolina pitchers were not. They walked in a pair of runs in the second inning, and Liberty would tack on a couple more in the fourth as LU rolls to a much-needed 5-0 victory. And with that, we head in the dugout with the man we like to call our closer around here. That would be our baseball analyst, Nick Pierce. Nick, thanks for making time for us.
Hey, no blown saves here, Matt. Appreciate the time.
And a great whip, we might add as well, Nick. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of this win on Wednesday by Liberty. And also, if you can't put into perspective the performance we saw from starting pitcher Matt Pennington.
Well, I think it's big for a couple of reasons. First of all, you get a top 50 win over East Carolina. Second win over ECU this season for the Flames. And also, secondly, you have a win going into a long stretch off here, 6 days before the Flames play again against Richmond here next Wednesday. So that's a couple of good positive momentum boosts to take into the break for final exams. And then Matt Pennington, you alluded to him. It had been the first time he pitched in more than a month, and apparently didn't even find out he was pitching until batting practice that day. So maybe that's the key. Just don't tell them that they're going to be out there on the mound that day. But Pennington had command of all 3 pitches, and that's huge because he could be a guy that, you know, starts to emerge late here in the season that could be big going into the conference tournament. You always need those kind of guys that are, you know, guys that are kind of under the radar. So he could be one of those heading into the tournament, no doubt.
Yeah, always good when those depth guys step up. Nick, you know, tough loss to James Madison. We were just talking about the big win over ECU. Where does this set Liberty up in terms of an at-large bid?
Well, the win over ECU gets them back inside the top 50. Checking the official NCAA RPI rankings today, the Flames come in at 48th. They were 53rd heading into that ECU game. So you look at the schedule, or you look at the RPI ranking and say, man, that's not very good. But then you look at the remaining schedule, and you've still got 3 games with Coastal Carolina, and you've got 1 game at Maryland. Those are both top 30 teams. And then you think about the fact that Coastal is going to Florida State this weekend for 3 games. They could be even larger at that point. So still some opportunities here. If the Flames get 2 to 3 of those, all of a sudden I think they're right back there in the mix, but certainly have to win some of these games here down the stretch, no doubt.
Nick, you allude to the rest that this team is getting right now, getting more days off than they've had here in a while. How important do you think that is, and does this come at a right time as they gear up for the final stretch of the season?
I think it does. I mean, at this point in the season, everyone's dealing with the grind of the year, and now guys can get a little bit of a physical break, not so much a mental break, obviously, with exams, but, you know, a little bit of time to kind of refresh and recharge the battery, so to speak. And after finals, it's all baseball. Guys don't have to worry about school anymore or classes. They can just come to the field and almost live like a minor leaguer for the next few weeks. So I think it definitely is a good thing.
Nick, we hope you get a physical and mental break as well during this time. And we appreciate you stopping by once again, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, I'll work on that. Thanks, Matt.